Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Falmouth, Maine, at the Family Ice Center here, right in Falmouth, for the Brunswick Freeport Dragons' first hockey game of the season, a preseason game against Falmouth. That's an early shot. I will be saying this throughout the day. Because Falmouth decided to wear their practice jerseys, I do not have a single correct number for them. So I don't know a single player on Falmouth. Besides the goaltender, I believe, is Harrison Rana. That's the only name I'm going to know for Falmouth the entire day. And thankfully, Brunswick also is wearing their practice jerseys, but I do have the numbers for them at least. So that's half the battle. Here's a shot. Ryan Livesey wearing his blue practice jersey. Falmouth might get confused. They might think, oh, is that our goalie? But no, that is going to be Brunswick. Dragons missing a whole bunch of guys today. Ethan Patterson, the captain, who I'm sure is one of our 4 viewers right now. He is stuck in Wisconsin in a bit of a snowstorm, so he will not be here today at all. Here's a shot from the slot wide off the back wall. Jamison Palmer will pass up to Cole Bowditch. Those 2 sophomore forwards for the Dragons are both very good as freshmen, and Dragons going to need them this season, of course. Overall, pretty young team, but it does appear that Palmer and Bowditch each grew a couple inches in the offseason, so that is very good to see. Falmouth coming back the other way. For our new viewers, because Falmouth wore their practice jerseys, I don't know a single one of their players, but here is a fast rush save. Livesey tries to find it. Puck is in the corner now, taken over by Palmer. Palmer up to Dorsey. Dorsey battling along the boards, and Palmer with a nice hit, as Dorsey will get the puck back. Finds Bowditch up the ice. Bowditch will control and takes it into the zone. Will try to toe drag and gets lit up. Hit to the ice. And Falmouth gets it back now. Chance into the zone, into the slot. Fire. Shot is blocked. And a chance now for Falmouth once again. He'll leave it off. Fire. Shot is blocked and hit out to the side. Falmouth again. Pinned up against the boards there by Tyler Landry. This is the Dragons' 3rd forward line in now. They will be running 4 lines of forwards today. And there's a pass out front and a goal by Falmouth. Once again, no idea who. I just want to thank the Falmouth Navigators for not wearing their game jerseys today. I believe now we're into the Dragons' 4th line of forwards. That was the face-off there by Leclerc. I do believe this is an all-freshman 4th line for Brunswick Freeport. Shot there, save Livesey, and he will freeze it. It is just me today. Robert Bowen on the microphone with Brandon Ware on the camera. Kaz Kaczynski getting a Christmas tree right now, and then he will be calling the girls' hockey game at 7:30. They play the Penobscot Pioneers. So you can watch that right here on BHSN after these 3 games today. 4 hockey games in one day on BHSN. It's pretty amazing. Chance for Falmouth. Fires that one wide. And now kept in the zone. 21 minutes to go here in our running time first half. And there's 1-0 Navigators. Livesey will stick that one aside, and that puck bounding into the neutral zone. Chased after by the Dragons with Carter Copeland, freshman, starting there at right wing today, with James Salko and Nat Rathbone on that first line. This one looking for Rathbone. Salko looks to control, cannot. Avery Sampson now fighting. Here's a pass across Livesey's crease. Falmouth gets it back. We'll keep it in the zone. Now along the boards, fed inside of the slot. Salko knocked that one away to prevent that dangerous pass. And the Dragons get a change, sending on that second forward line. The all Freeport underclassmen line, if you consider the underclassmen definition as being younger than a senior. Of course, Evan Dorsey being a junior, along with the two sophomores, Bowditch and Palmer. Falmouth looking to break out. And they get it into the neutral zone. Now into the offensive zone. Will look to fire. Good defensive play there. That one rung off the face mask of Ryan Livesey. Better hope he's okay, because Dragons do not have a backup goalie dressed at the moment. And he does look to be just fine. Game is at 1-0 right now. 19:27 to go. Chance for Palmer. He'll try to feed it down the middle. Cannot. Falmouth with the puck back the other way. And he'll dump it down. Bowditch looking to clear, and there's a chance down the middle. One touch in again. Little 3 passes on the inside there. Ryan Livesey, nothing he could do, and it is 2-0 Falmouth. That was pretty amazing puck movement by the Navigators. And I once again do not know who scored, because they're wearing their practice jerseys, and it doesn't line up with their roster. So I have to hope that Greeley and Scarborough will wear their game jerseys, but I actually don't think I have their whole rosters either. Of course, the Dragons playing in 3 preseason games today. Greeley is at 5 o'clock, and at 6:10 they will play Scarborough. Chance for the Navigators into the offensive zone, already up 2-0, and they'll fire and score in 7 minutes into the first half. It is 3-0 Falmouth. Fourth line of forwards on for Brunswick. That Sawyer Ingerson will have a nice hit into the boards. And now Cameron fighting with a couple Navigators. Fed down the middle. And Livesey will get to that near side pipe. Cameron gets the puck back. Kept in the zone by Falmouth. They'll fire, looking to redirect it in this middle. Cannot. Leclerc and Wilmot. This is an all-freshman fourth line of forwards for Brunswick Freeport. They will be skating all 4 today. Here's a shot wide, and a chance off the rebound. Livesey stopped that one with his leg pad. 16:50 to go in this first half, and Livesey will save and freeze that one. The Dragons will change again, sending back on that first line. Dorsey and Salco both being seniors. Or not Dorsey, sorry. That will be Rathbone and Salco being seniors, along with a freshman, Carter Copeland. This is also a Falmouth team that only has 3 seniors on their roster. And for Brunswick, they only have 4. So both teams very light in that senior department. But Falmouth will make it 4-0 with some nice stick work. Livesey getting beat for the 4th time, and this will have to be Livesey for this entire game. Colton Sampson, another sophomore goaltender, is coming later in the day, and Michael Shoemaker has fallen ill. Mike, I do hope you are watching, and I do hope that you heal, man. And Michael, if you are watching, could you please text if we have any Euro homework due on Monday? That being AP European history. I can't quite remember. So, Mike, if you're watching, please let me know. 15:30 to go in the first half. It is 4-0 Navigators. Dragons have their second line of forwards on: Bowditch, Dorsey, and Palmer. Falmouth coming the other way. Pressure on there by Palmer. Palmer with a nice move, and he'll look to break out, stop and start again. Fed up the ice to Dorsey. Dorsey with a nice hit to knock down the Navigator along the blue line. Dorsey will fall this time and slide into the boards. He gets right back up, though. 2-on-1, 3-on-1 for the Navigator. Shot. Blocker save by Livesey. Rebound. He stops that one with his leg pad. Bowditch fighting behind the net. Dorsey will get the puck back. Now Bowditch will spin. Feed it up for Dorsey. Dorsey looking across. That one's intercepted, but can Palmer get to it? No, he cannot. 14:30 now in the first half. Shot there, just wide left of the net. Into the zone come the Navigators. Nice hit there by Jonah Kittinger, another freshman forward from Brunswick. The Dragons really have a lot of young talent coming up. Kittinger and Copeland are the biggest names in this freshman class this year, but of course you also have Drew Wilson. Is Drew Wilson a freshman? This paper I have in my hand does not say their classes. I'm just going from my experience. I know Sam Jansen is a freshman, so Sam Jansen also in that category. Is Drew Wilson a freshman? Not quite sure. But also the Dragons have a whole bunch of very talented 8th graders. So next year when they enter the team, as Avery Sampson with a nice hit there, that will be very helpful to get those 8th grade, or as the junior high team this year is very, very good. And of course you have your star sophomores in Cole Bowditch and Jameson Palmer. So my big point here is the future is very bright for the Dragons. In about 2 years, in that 2027 season, when you have Palmer and Bowditch as seniors, and you have those 8th graders as sophomores, and then you have Copeland and Kittinger as juniors, it's going to be a very good hockey team. But in terms of the future for this game, they do trail 4-0, so I'm not quite sure how bright that future is. But for the general program, it's just a ton of young talent. Overall, just a very small group of upperclassmen on this Brunswick Freeport team. As I mentioned, 4 seniors and I believe 4 juniors also, as this one will wind up in the back of the net, and it is 5-0 Falmouth. Hey, thanks, Ethan. Drew Wilson is a sophomore. He didn't play in high school last year. Ethan Patterson, of course, is stuck in Wisconsin due to a snowstorm. He was planning on flying back for the 2nd and 3rd games today, but that is no longer happening. Ethan, yeah, any other thoughts, man? Just send me a quick text. I am alone, so. Ethan says number 8 is Cale Hansen, who had the assist on the first goal. So we know exactly one player now for the Navigators, Hansen. And the goalie is, of course, Harrison Rana. 90% sure. But the Dragons haven't had a shot on net yet, so I have not had to say his name. Here's a shot saved by Livesey. Early whistle there by the official. Livesey had his chest poked there. And the Dragons will get a change back onto that second line. The second all-Freeport forward line. Bowditch, Dorsey, Palmer. For defensemen. Can't quite tell from here. Very excited for the game jerseys to come when I will recognize every single player, even without their numbers. But we're just not at that point yet, especially with such young body youth on this team. I'll know everyone awfully soon. Here's a chance for Jameson Palmer, who's open. He can't settle it. But Dorsey with a chance. That one's poked away. I wonder if that's Porter. Ethan, do you think number 56 is Jacoby Porter, the captain? Just send me a quick text there. I think it is. I think 56 is Porter. I'm going to start saying that. So we now know 3 Falmouth players. And here is Porter in the neutral zone. That one fed up the ice and in the zone for Falmouth. Nice pass across. Now backhand inside. One-timer gloved by Livesey. That is his best save of the day, without a doubt. And there are now 10 minutes to go here in this first half. It is 5-0 Falmouth. Oh, you guys can see that part of the scoreboard. That's nice. Chance here for the Navigators into the zone. Nice toe drag attempt was stopped by the Dragon defense. Navigators keep it in the zone. Pass towards the net, redirected, and now cleared for an icing, I do believe, and it will be in Falmouth with that 5-0 lead. We'll get the offensive zone face-off. Dragons send on their fourth line of forwards. Wilmot, Leclerc, and Cameron, as well as Sampson on defense. And I believe that's Sam Inacio actually filling in for that right wing slot. So a little bit of shuffling early on here for the Dragon forward lines. Opportunity, Livesey will freeze it. .8:30 to go now in the first half. Face off here. It'll be Salco to take it. Very interesting in that first line of forwards. It is James Salco taking those face-offs instead of Nat Rathbone, who usually has done it in the past for that line. Salco and Rathbone have been playing on the same line for a long time. Their usual third man there, I believe, would be either Max Stanicki, maybe Nolan Klimash. I don't think Nolan would play. No, it would be Stanicki with Rathbone and Salco a lot. Or maybe John Paul Polton to round out that all class of 2026 line. But John Paul Polton not playing this season. And of course, Max Stanicki graduated, so they will add a freshman to that line, that being Carter Copeland. Speed for Nat Rathbone into the offensive zone as he'll look to get the Dragons' first shot on goal of the night. I guess it's still the afternoon. Chance here for the Navigators. Fed inside, couldn't get a look there. Carter Copeland fighting along the boards. Falmouth gets it back though, and gloved by Livesey. Wow, Ethan. Jacoby Porter, 56 in white, committed to the University of Chicago for baseball, actually. That's pretty interesting. Shot block by Jamison Palmer, but Falmouth keeps it in the zone. Palmer will try to find someone. Looking back for Ingerson. Sawyer Ingerson has that one stopped, and a chance for Falmouth in the slot. Nice toe drag, good move. Boy, it goes far down and scores. And it is 6-0. Navigators. What a move. Dorsey to take this face off. And he'll win it. Dorsey will fire that one over the net. Dragons still looking for their first shot on goal. And that puck rolls all the way back to the defensive zone. Ingerson chasing after it. And he'll get it back to himself. Palmer looking up the ice, and it's caught there. Nice pass. And a chance for Bowditch. Opportunity, nice pass across. Shot save made by Rana. First shot on goal of the day by the Dragons. It comes from the freshman, Jonah Kittinger. It was a great pass by Bowditch to get the puck across to Kittinger. And Rana goes pipe to pipe to make the save. Kinninger will take the offensive zone faceoff now after the Falmouth icing. Pass across, and here come the Navigators with speed. That one rang off the iron and wide. Falmouth, nice toe drag once again, looking to round the net, cannot. Dragons get the puck back. I believe that is Nathaniel Shoemaker on the ice for the first time. Younger brother of course, Gabe Shoemaker and Michael Shoemaker. Michael, once again, at home sick today. Michael, if you're watching now and you weren't watching earlier, do we have Euro homework due on Monday? Please let me know. Gabe, if you're watching from Allegheny College, as here, Kinninger will knock Navigator to the ground. Gabe, if you're watching from Allegheny College, please ask your brother if we have Euro homework due on Monday. Here's a shot glove by Livesey. Gabe and Michael, of course, both played goalie 2 seasons ago, and last season Michael was the starter for Brunswick, and Gabe played forward and had a very good season. I believe he led the team in goals, if I am correct. Avery Tatham did. Avery Tatham definitely led the team for goals, and Ethan Patterson probably came in second. But I would bet that Gabe had the most goals for a forward, Patterson and Tatham both being defensemen. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in our first half. It is 6-0 Navigators. Neutral zone face-off here. It'll be Liam Leclerc, and he'll win it. Dragons have done pretty well on face-offs today, but a quick turnover. That one shot was deflected and knocked away by the stick of Ryan Livesey, sophomore who played a decent amount last season, especially in the playoff game against Kennebunk. He went in for Shoemaker and had a shutout for the last 2 periods. Chance here for Jacoby Porter. He'll fire that one off the iron. Porter, of course, we just learned is committed to the University of Chicago for baseball. Ethan, is that Division I? Could you please look that up and text me? I'd appreciate that. University of Chicago. I don't know. Chance here for Rathbone. Salco guarding. Sampson knocks him across. Here's a rocket wide left of the net. Jacoby Porter will settle. How about that? Jacoby Porter standing next to Cole Bowditch. That is an interesting juxtaposition. I'm not quite sure. There's another shot blocked by the face mask of Ryan Livesey. I don't know how tall Cole Bowditch is this season, but he does look taller than last year, as well does Jamison Palmer. So that's a good sign. A lot of young talent, not a ton of size on this Dragons team, but Bowditch and Palmer, they're getting up there, and they already are very good offensive threats, but they will only get more so over time. So next couple seasons, I think the Dragons should do pretty well this season. It is not as difficult as a schedule as they've played in years past. This Falmouth team is probably the best team that they're going to play all season, and it's a preseason game, so it is 6-0 here after 25 minutes of ice time, but this is the best team they're going to play all season. And also, of course, they're missing their starting goaltender, Michael Shoemaker. They're missing their captain, Ethan Patterson, and as well as Levi Bobuff, Edward Boak, and I believe Nicky Houston's also out. Yes, he is. And Ryan Nile is also out, as well as his brother. So it is 6-0 here after 25 minutes, but you're going to see a much different team in the regular season, and you're not going to see them playing teams as good as this Falmouth Navigator squad. Here's a shot saved by Livesey, and that'll do it for our first period of action. I do not know if we're going to get the Zamboni here or if we're going to go straight to the second half. The guys on the benches are not leaving for the moment, so I think we're just going to do a short break. Yeah, we're going straight to the second half, folks. Okay, Ethan says the University of Chicago is Division III, so that is where 56 and White will be playing his baseball at Division III, the University of Chicago. Six to 0 Navigators after 25 minutes, and we'll get another 25 minutes after this. I don't know how long this break is going to be, but I don't think I have a reason to leave, so. Dragons will play Greeley at 5 o'clock, and then at 6:10 they will play Scarborough. And then at 7:30, the Brunswick girls ice hockey team will play against the Penobscot Pioneers. Kaz Kaczynski will be on the call for that. That will be at 7:30 right here on BHSN. Penobscot is a combination of a whole bunch of schools up in northern Maine. Not too north, of course, but Brewer, Bangor, Old Town, Orono, Hampton Academy, and John Baptist. I think it is those 6 schools. So that is who just the Brunswick Dragons will be playing against later. I mean, that's like, what, 2,500 students to choose from against the 700 that the Dragons have to choose from. So there you go. Brunswick girls ice hockey, of course, is the only non-co-opt girls hockey team in the state. And the Brunswick boys team, of course, combined with Freeport. And they will send out their entire Freeport line of forwards to begin the second period, as well as Avery Sampson on the defense. And number 20, that is Inacio. So Sam Inacio, I guess, is playing defense today in the wake of Bobuff and Boak and Patterson all being not present, or absent, I guess, would be the opposite of present. So Inacio is who's been playing on that first defensive pairing with Avery Sampson. Into the zone coming Navigators. Nice toe drag once again, and he'll lay that one in. And it is 7-0. This is, I think Ryan Livesey, you never want your goalie to lose confidence. You're playing against the best team you're going to play against the entire season. You're missing another chance for Falmouth. Forehand, backhand, and that will be 8-0. You're playing against the best team you're going to play against the whole season. You're missing 3 of your 5 best defensemen. There's nothing to really hang your hat on here. Is hang your hat a negative or a positive? I think that's a positive. Okay, well, there's nothing to hang your head about here. Is hang your hat and hang your head, I guess they have completely different connotations there. That's pretty fascinating. Well, Ryan, what I'm trying to say here, you can't really feel bad about this. Best team you're going to play all season, missing 3 of your 5 best defenders. It's going to be tough. But giving up 8 goals is always going to hurt your confidence as a goaltender. And that is why I feel so bad for Ryan Livesey, because there is no backup goalie right now for Brunswick. So he has to stay in this whole time, giving up 8 goals. Not great for the psyche, is my point. So hopefully Ryan Livesey will be okay with all that. You never want your goalie losing all his confidence in a preseason game. It could not be as disastrous as last year's Greeley icebreaker here, where the Dragons lost 2 of their first-line forwards in the preseason games. I believe it was Max Nicky, who was injured against Falmouth, and then Nolan Klimash, who was injured against Greeley, both first-line forwards for Brunswick, injured in this icebreaker last season. Chance for Kittinger the other way. That was Carter Copeland, actually. Kittinger and Copeland, both freshmen forwards from Brunswick. Going to confuse them. That's just how it's going to go. Chance here, and a nice move. 35 in black is Leclerc. Okay, Leclerc and Wilmot, I've also confused a little bit. Of course, this all-freshman fourth forward line. This is my first time seeing them play, so. And they're also not wearing the jerseys that they're going to be wearing this season. Of course, that season is beginning in 6 days. The Dragons will be playing against Greeley on December 5th. Which is very interesting because they're playing Greeley in a preseason game at 5 o'clock today. So they play Greeley in a game that doesn't count today, and in 6 days they'll play them in a game that counts. So that's interesting. Of course, in 6 days the Dragons will have Ethan Patterson, Michael Shoemaker, Ned Boak, and Levi Boboff all back, and Nikki Heaston. So it will be a completely different team, basically. Face-off won by Dorsey. And knocked around Palmer along the back wall. We'll find, I think that is an Osseo over there, if I'm correct. Or it's Ingerson. So who's Ingerson's pair? It's number 2. I definitely don't have a number 2 on here, guys. Oh, it's Drew Wilson. Drew Wilson, of course. Drew Wilson, sophomore, did not play hockey for Brunswick last season, but he is playing now. 2 in black. Will very likely be a big contributor this season on the defense. Might be that third man with Ethan Patterson and Avery Sampson as that first defensive pairing. Nice move by Dorsey with another move. Put that one wide. Up ice, Ingerson will poke it away. But nice piece of skating, get that puck back. Fires. Blocker save by Livesey, and that one goes into the netting. That back netting is pretty much invisible against that black wall, but there is netting there. Face-off, shot, and a goal. That one went right over the glove of Livesey. And they have stopped counting on the scoreboard, but rest assured, I will not. So it is 9-0 right now. I might have to write that down. I don't want to forget. If Falmouth does get into the double digits, I do want to know. So I'm just going to write that down real quick. Thanks, guys. Rathbone, nice move again. He has Salko up ice. He will drop it off to him. Salko will fire that one. Saved by Rana. Rebound. Rathbone. That one in the back of the net. Not Rathbone. Makes it 9-1. Off a great individual effort. Getting the puck back to Salko. Salko put it on net. Rebound off Rana's leg pad. And Nat Rathbone has the first Brunswick Dragons goal of the season. Now they put up the score saying 7-1, so I thought they had stopped counting, but they actually just forgot to count those last couple of Falmouth goals. So the real score is 9-1. Of course, Ryan Livesey told me before the game he thought 8-1 was a realistic score, so that is over his mark. But the Dragons did get that one goal. So once again, I may have said this a few times already, Sampson will fire that one gloved by Rana. This Falmouth team is the best team the Dragons are going to play the entire season. The Dragons are missing 3 of their 5 best defensemen in Patterson, Boak, and Bobuff. And more players at that. Oh yeah, Michael Shoemaker as well, starting goaltender. So this is not your typical Dragons game. The rest of the Dragons regular season games are going to look much different than this, I would have to imagine. Chance here by Kinger is wide. Sampson hit there. It's going to be a cross-check against Avery Sampson for our first penalty of the afternoon. And we'll get to see this Falmouth power play. Oh, we had offsetting penalties. Okay. So we will not see the Falmouth power play. Both teams send a man to the box and will stay. Should be still 5-on-5 play if they're matching penalties. Sampson getting released. Oh, okay. No, so the penalty was just against Falmouth. So we're going to see the Dragons power play. What a turn of events there. How about that? Dragons down here 9-1, trying to make it 9-2. They have on the ice Landry to take the faceoff, as well as Copeland at left wing. Copeland has it one back to him, gives back to Sampson. Sampson will fire that one, leg pad save by Rana. Sampson will keep it in the zone with his free hands, but puck will wind up back in the neutral zone. Will be taken back over by Sam Inacio. Inacio into the zone. Will hit Navigator into the boards. Copeland looking around the net with space. Will fire down the middle, looking for Landry. Falmouth able to clear that one. 90 seconds left. Sampson looking up for Salco, and can he get it? A 3-on-1 opportunity for the Dragons, and a chance for Leclerc. Leclerc will fire it wide. Copeland along the boards. Leclerc will chop at it. Falmouth gets it back, though. Falmouth penalty kill with a chance the other direction. 56 seconds left that they have to kill. Salco will... Actually, that is Shoemaker who breaks up that pass in the middle. Falmouth penalty kill just skating around. They have 40 seconds left to kill. 15:30 left in our second half. That one whiffed on the shot and wide. Number 2 in white had to check to make sure his blade had not broken, but no, he just whiffed. Sampson will round the net down here, 9-1. About 12 seconds left in the man advantage. He puts that one wide off the back wall. Leclerc fighting. Shoemaker keeps it in the zone. And that one will be kept in again by Shoemaker, but now Falmouth able to clear, and a chance with a 2-on-1 with a trailer. Pass down the middle, wide open, shot is wide. Backhand pass and a chance for the Navigators. That one fed across and wide. Falmouth D-to-D pass. That one shot saved by Ryan Livesey. Brunswick trying to clear. 33. I don't think we've seen 33 yet. That is Aiden Schofield. Schofield gets it back now. In the defensive zone, will try to go D-to-D to Sam Jansen. Sam Jansen, a great sports photographer. You should check him out on Instagram at Sam Jansen Photography. I do believe is his account name, as you might imagine. speaking of Instagram accounts, Bewick Sportsnet on Instagram. You can check there for updates about what games we're covering, as well as post-game interviews, which we'll be doing this season. Have not done one yet this year, but as the winter sports continue to heat up, I'm sure we'll get some going. Dorsey into the slot, will fire that one over the net and hits the back glass. Girls hockey starts earlier than any other winter sports. Chance for Dorsey, he'll fire and score. Evan Dorsey beats Rana Blocker's side, and the Dragons have made it 9-2. Face-off won by Falmouth. I think Ethan's sending me some more texts, so I'm just going to see what he has to say about this game. Shot over the net off the back glass. Oh, here's a chance for Brunswick. That was Copeland. Copeland fighting. Once again, kept in the zone now by Drew Wilson. Wilson with space, top of the circle will fire, gloved by Rana, but given aside. The Dragons can definitely, there we go, hang their hat, used correctly that time, on scoring 2 goals against a very good Falmouth team. Once again, best team they're going to play the entire season right here in this first preseason game. And they've scored twice, so, 9-2, but still 2. Chance here for Copeland, fires over the net. Getting back, though, is Landry. Falmouth chance, gets around Sampson, fire, leg save by Livesey. That one blocked, and Sampson gets it back. Turns it over, though. Another chance for the Navigators. They'll look to get inside. It's stonewalled by Livesey, and he will freeze it with 11 minutes left in our second half. Leclerc to take this face-off, and he did win it, but Falmouth gets it back, though. Pass inside into the slot. And Porter will watch it go in for the icing. .20 left in our second half. Chance in the slot for Falmouth. And backhand stop by Livesey. Livesey's played very well in this second half, I must say. He has let in 3 goals, but probably has... He could have 12 saves right now, I think. Probably more. That's being a little conservative. Shot blocked by Navigator's teammates. Rathbone, who has a goal today, will ice that one. And the Navigators will get an offensive zone face-off. Back to Porter. He'll knock it down, and the Dragons will clear it. I believe that was deflected, so no icing. Yes, that is what the linesman says. Ethan, if you could send me a quick text. Are all the officials called linesmen, or is that like a role? Like one of them is the linesman, and then the other is something else. For example, in football, you have your umpire, he wears the white hat, and then you have a back judge, side judge, and all that. So you have those official roles, I guess, for the officials. You call them the officials or the referees, and then you have those different types of referees. Is that what the term linesman means? Is that a role, or is that just a nickname for all the officials? And if so, if linesman is a role, how do I tell which one's the linesman? Those are all my questions, so I hope you can give me a full report so I can start being more accurate. Palmer fighting along the back wall. Porter with it now. Finds a fellow navigator and a chance now. A breakaway, forehand, backhand. That went off the crossbar. It's directly up in the air, and it hit the top of Livesey's helmet. Here's a slap shot save. Rebound, Livesey again. Ryan Livesey is on a very hot streak right now. Making save after save. Of course, he has let in 9 goals, but we don't need to talk about that. He's playing great right now. All right, Ethan has responded. The linesman thing only matters if there are 4 referees. When there's 4 referees, there are 2 linesmen and 2 referees. The referees call penalties, and the linesmen do icing and offsides. Okay, that makes sense. So can I just call these officials linesmen because it sounds cooler? Is that okay? I think I will. So thank you, Ethan, of course, sitting in an airport in Wisconsin at the moment. Leclerc will look to break out, tries to find Copeland. Oh, he said yes. Ethan said yes, so I will be calling these officials linesmen just because it sounds cooler. Livesey will glove that one, hugging that near side pipe to stop the Navigator rush. Once again, that scoreboard says 8-2, but rest assured, it is 9-2 right now. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's 9-2. I am glad the scoreboard operator is being kind, but it's 9-2 right now. Falmouth in the slot. That one goes wide. Falmouth keeps it in the zone, though. Back now into the slot. Couldn't handle that. That one goes wide into the corner. Down to 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in our second half of the Dragons' first of 3 preseason games today. At 5 o'clock, they will play Greeley, and at 6:10, they will play South Portland. Not South Portland, Scarborough. I always do mix up those two. Southern teams beginning with an S. Red. Their mascots being the Red Riots and the Red Storm. Scarborough, of course, is the Red Storm. Really 2 very similar schools. I bet they probably don't like that I call them similar, but I don't know. They seem pretty similar to me. Do Scarborough and South Portland border each other, or are they just very close? I'm not sure. But Ryan Livesey makes a great pipe-to-pipe save there. He's played great in this second half. Definitely a much better performance than he did in those first 25 minutes. Of course, you don't know how many goals you can actually put on him with, once again, Boak, Boba, and Patterson, 3 of the Dragons' 5 best defensemen all out. It did seem like most of the goals that Livesey let up were breakaways with just a Falmouth player and no defenders between him and Livesey. But it is 9-2. Livesey will hug that pipe and stop that shot. And Falmouth gets the puck back in the defensive zone. Livesey, of course, has a twin sister, Lauren Livesey, who will be playing in that girls' hockey game at 7:30 against Penobscot. Kaz Kaczynski on the call. I believe he'll have Oscar Gardside filming that one. 3 minutes and 30 seconds now. Into the slot. One timer wide of the net. That shot sticked away by Livesey. Collision there. 31 in black is Wilmot. Wilmot with a nice hit. Three minutes left now. So it is 2:27 now. Let's call it. Now the game will be done at 2:30. So that will be a 2.5 hour long break in between this game and the next one at 5 o'clock against Greeley. Salco into the zone will fire that one wide. Rathbone will collect the rebound for the moment, but Falmouth gets it back. In the neutral zone, Shoemaker will try to steal the puck. Nice toe drag move. Fed down the middle, save Livesey off his chest. And now up for Rathbone. Rathbone with speed. One of the fastest skaters, probably the fastest forward the Dragons have. I would say Ethan Patterson is the fastest skater on the team, but Rathbone very quick as well. Falmouth into the zone. He'll fire that one over the net off the back glass. Dragons still keeping Falmouth in the single digits. That's something to hang their hats on. That's the third time I have used that expression, and the second time I have used it correctly. "90 seconds left now. The Dragons will win the face-off. Falmouth gets it back. I feel like the Dragons have done pretty well on face-offs all in all today. Shot there, deflected, and wide of the net. Bodic will hit that one. Can he get the puck back to himself? He can. A 2-on-1 for the Dragons. He has Palmer in the middle. Can he backhand it to him? He can, but just out of reach for Jameson Palmer, his fellow Freeport sophomore. But Bodic gets it right back. Falmouth takes it away, though. And a nice piece of skating, and it's a 2-on-1 for the Navigators. Fed across. Will he look to pass again? No. Save off the shoulder of Livesey. He'll look to catch it and fall down, being hit by Palmer. 50 seconds left now. Dorsey along the boards will pass to himself. Will avoid that shoulder of the Navigator, 59 in white. Once again, if you're just joining us, because Falmouth wore their practice jerseys today, I don't have a single one of their players except for 56 in white, who is Porter. As here we have some stick wrestling in the neutral zone with Dorsey and Navigator. Bodic will get the puck back with under 10 seconds to play. Rana will come out to settle it. And that'll do it. The Dragons lose 9-2 in their first of 3 preseason games of the day. In 2.5 hours, we will go live once again, and they will play against the Greeley Rangers. And then immediately after that, or I guess we'll get a Zamboni, and then right after that, they will play against Scarborough for their final preseason game of the day and of the season. Their first real game coming on next Friday, also against Greeley. Thank you for joining us here, folks, on this Saturday afternoon. Dragons lose 9-2 to the Navigators. See you in 2.5 hours.